Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, how much did Diana know about Fergie? To me, what everything is showing me is that Fergie actually may have done more illegal things than Andrew did. And remember, Fergie and Diana had a big falling out. Nobody really knew why. Did Diana know what Fergie was like back then? How far back does this go? We have to remember, Ghislaine Maxwell said Diana was at one of their parties, but didn't want anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein. All right. So I've got the Ethereal Visions on the tarot table. As you know, that's the deck I use when I want to talk to the other side, specifically to somebody specific. Okay, Diana. How much did you know about Fergie? 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 All I keep hearing is, I'm coming soon, I'm coming soon. Remember we did that auto writing. Diana said she'll be coming through one of her nieces because she wants to see Charlotte ascend to the throne. She wants to be at Charlotte's coronation. I just got goosebumps when I said that. Diana. Yes, okay. I know you're coming through soon. We're gonna hear, I bet a year or two we'll hear one of her nieces are pregnant. The next one pregnant, that's what she said. The next one pregnant is going to be Diana. How much did you know about Fergie and J.E.? How much did you know about Fergie and J.E. and Andrew and all of that? And is that why you had a falling out? Okay. My shoulders are up around my ears, the tension. Wow, there's lots of tension around this. Like a lot. Three of Wands in reverse. Interesting. She knew it wouldn't go anywhere. She thought it wouldn't go anywhere. Or she thought it was like, I'm just making sure you can see all that. Or she was thinking, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this future. In some sense, she actually didn't think it would go anywhere. Wow, ruin. Ruin. I'm going to say she knew exactly what Fergie was up to. I'm going to say that this card now is she didn't want any part of it. So you think Fergie and Andrew and Diana. She did not want any part of it whatsoever. Maybe this was even Fergie and Charles and Andrew. She did not want to be part of it at all. So she knew. So yeah. Ruin, Ten of Swords. Absolute ruin. Wow, the Tower in reverse. Oh my God. Man-made destruction. She knew they were just, she knew exactly what they were doing, and she could see it was going to destroy them. She could see their choices that they were doing were destructive, were going to be their downfall. She didn't want anything to do with it at all. Nothing. She didn't even want to be in the same room as them. Two of Wands. She's watched from afar. She watched from afar what they were doing. Wow, I can't believe the Ten of Swords and the Tower in reverse. King of Cups, Charles. She was more worried how this would affect Charles. If that was in reverse, I'd say Charles was part of it. But I think this is showing that she was more worried how it would affect Charles. Now, could you argue that that's William? No, William would be Knight of Cups in here as her son. King of Cups is her soulmate, is her husband, and also he is a King of Cups. The Fool in reverse on the Tower in reverse. She's like, they were so stupid. They are really dumb. What they did was dumb. What they did was so foolish and so destructive and so self-inflicted. She knew, she said, I'm watching from afar because you guys are going to ruin yourself with this shit. Ace of Cups in reverse. She was really upset about it. She was really upset about it. And I'm going to say with this Ace of Cups in reverse, this is why they had a falling out. She did not want to be around them. She didn't want any part of it. She didn't want any part of them. She knew what they were doing was foolish and going to be the end of them. She was more worried about how this would affect Charles. Because you have to think about it, how it affects Charles is how it affects her sons. She wants Charles. Look at that. The clock agrees with me. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. She was especially worried how it was going to affect Harry. Especially worried because you have to remember Andrew is Harry's godfather. Harry and Andrew are both spares. She was especially concerned about how this would affect Harry. How would Harry get roped into this? Would Harry look up to his uncle as Charles looked up to his Uncle Dickie? She was really worried about that. Nine of Swords. Look how worried she was. She had sleepless nights over this. Oh my God. Has a reading ever been more clear? The Emperor in reverse. She knew this would catch up with Charles once he became king. King of Cups upright is her husband while she was married to Charles. But she knew this would catch up to Charles once he became king. And it even had the chance of bringing his kingship down. The Empress. The Empress. She was looking after, that's what the Empress does, is look after the next monarch. And so she knew all she could do was keep away from there, keep the boys away from there, and raise the next king. That's all she could do. Three of Cups in reverse. Wow. I don't know if this reading could get any clearer. She knew they were up to no good. She really did. You know, I'm so shocked that Andrew doesn't drink because usually in that crowd, they do a lot of cocaine, a lot of drinking, a lot of debauchery, a lot of hedonism. He was just there for the sex. Didn't drink, didn't eat, didn't do drug. And he didn't drink because he was an alcoholic and he was a recovering alcoholic. He just was a teetotaler. He just didn't care for it. The Chariot. There's William to the rescue. Strength. That was her strength. Look at her in strength here, trying to, I'm going to just cover that up in case, trying to control Harry. Also, she may have had she may have told Anne about this too, but she was more concerned about the royals, about the monarchy, because she's raising the next king. And she wanted a monarchy that he could be proud of, to be a king of. She was worried that Harry would go sideways. She didn't want Harry involved in any of this. Thank God she didn't live to see Harry do that, all that stuff. But I think she felt she was being strong by that was ghosting. We call ghosting now. Her and Andrew and Fergie. Plus, I think that she had the royal family on her side. Remember, Philip banned Fergie. So I think she was on the side of the royals. That's one thing you cannot take away from Diana. She was a monarchist, she was a royalist, she believed strongly in the royal family. She would be so disheartened what Harry is doing to undermine William and the monarchy and the royal family. That was not her at all. She did some crazy stuff of yeah, and she played media games and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it was, to poke Charles in the eye, but not bring down the royal family. She wanted that intact for when her son ascended the throne. She would have been a really proud king's mother. 10 of Wands in reverse. Look at that. Okay, so that she knows eventually one day they'd have to offload Andrew, release the burden. She's just really sad it's left up to William. Ace of Wands in reverse. And Seven of Pentacles. She has great hope for the royal family. She knows this is going to put a damper on a lot of things right now. Ace of Wands in reverse. She may be telling us that William didn't have any part of this. William, no. I'm going to say that she may be telling us that William had no part of this whatsoever. And that's what the cards have told us. William has had no part of this. I'm not saying what's happening to Harry, but this will actually, all of this will eventually pay off. Everything that's going on right now with offloading Andrew and Fergie and all of that, releasing the burden, putting the burden down, eventually it will pay off. Eventually, maybe in 7 years or so. Like, it'll take a long time. Take a very long time. It'll take a lot of patience and work and encouragement and nurturing, but it will pay off probably in 7 years. The monarchy will actually, probably the harvest of the actions today will bear fruit in a good way. It'll be a good harvest that people will look at the monarchy in a much stronger way. This, let's whisper, could even be 7 months. So is that William's coronation? And people have a better look at the monarchy because what has happened between today and in 7 months from now, which would be May, which seems to me like coronation month for some reason. Oh, thank you, Diana. That was very, very interesting. She, yes, absolutely knew what was going on. She was more worried about protecting the sons. She knew one day this would affect the monarchy, and she stood with the royals on this. And she knew one day it would affect Charles' rule, and that William would have to come in and save the day. But William did not do this. William wants no part of this. Also, I think we might be close to hearing the end of this, and the previous reading I did showed people are going to start to, it's like old news already. The news cycle has petered out. I don't think, or this even could be telling us that what's happening with the titles won't happen because of laws and legal stuff and whatnot. And we did see a second chance there for something for somebody. Interesting, the pages didn't come up, which is Andrew's children, but we just asked Diana about Fergie and Andrew. And yeah, she knew exactly what was going on. But this also tells me she had to be quiet about it, right? Because that's what the strength card is force, and it's also closing the mouth, forcing somebody to be quiet, or forcing yourself not to speak, or forcing yourself into silence. If you see your hand is on the head, on the original, it's holding the lion's mouth closed. So it's not, it's your ego. Like, don't say things just for your ego. Some things have to be kept quiet. So it's a strength of not blabbing something. So that could be telling us too that she knew, but she wasn't allowed to say anything. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.